Hey guys, Funkymusic here, and today I wanted to talk about Sindragosa. This is actually a topic I've been meaning to speak about and talk on. The different tactics that go along with Sindragosa. The current tactic that I see a lot of guilds doing, especially new guilds, for instance, the guild that I'm helping out in this video that you guys are seeing here, they're doing it basically how we did it in Zero Buff. Now, everyone seems to do it this way for whatever reason ever since about a year and a half, 2 years ago. Now, the reason why this is great for Zero Buff or tournament runs is because it allows for more DPS and allows her to land faster. It allows for a burn phase essentially in phase 3 or phase 2, whatever you want to call it. If you consider the air phase 2, whatever. Basically, I always call it phase 2. Anyways, for phase 2, it allows for a burn phase, which basically means whoever gets ice blocked is going to run away from the raid and just get tombed there, and we're not going to reset the stacks of the debuff that we are getting come phase 2. The problem with this, and I've seen a lot of guilds, is the DPS is not up to standard. Sindragosa is not a DPS race at all. You have plenty of time to kill her. I remember in retail, when we first did this the very first night, we did the back and forth strategy, which I'm going to show you guys in this video. And that is how it was done for years in retail. Considering that's just how we did it. It made everything a lot easier. So this strategy, unless you're in a guild that has really good DPS or people who have brains, this strategy that you guys are watching here should not be used at all. There's no reason for it. Sindragosa is not a DPS race. It's not like she's going to enrage. You have all day to kill it. So, what is the other strategy, Funky? What is the retail way? Because it seems like a lot of people have forgotten that. How to do Sindragosa the old way. So if your DPS is lower, I highly, highly recommend using this way of doing things. Now, you'll have to forgive me for the MS Paint. I'm not a very good artist on doing this, and I don't believe I have any old videos. I might, but I didn't look, so I'll be honest. I didn't even bother looking for the old videos, but this is the basic way of how it's going to be done. Now, the 4 black dots that you see here are roughly where Sindragosa's limbs are attached to her body. You're not going to put the tombs on the feet, okay? You want to be backed up a little bit from her body, and you want to be in conjunction kind of where the joints of the feet and the arms meet up with the body. It's kind of roughly where you want to be. So this will give you a rough picture of where your main tank is. Obviously the head's facing this way and the tail is facing where the main tank is not, on the opposite side. So, and you'll see where I have the rest of the raid here. So in this photo, that's where you should stack up. This is the normal way to do things. Everyone in the raid stacks up at the front foot. The main tank, once you reach phase 2, the main tank's the only person out. Everyone else is stacked up. So the first mark goes out for the ice block. That person will run to the rear of the foot joint, or wherever you designate it to be, just as long as it's far enough away from the rest of the raid group that they're not going to entomb the entire rest of the raid. That person will then take the ice block there. It's important to remember also, you don't want to be right next to Sindragosa. You want to be away from her. You don't want to be right up next to her foot, especially in the rear because of tail swipe. So you kind of want to be away from her foot a little bit, be about 10-20 feet away, I would say roughly somewhere around there, however you consider feet in the game, and place it away from her foot, but also in line with that joint, if you get what I'm saying here. See how there's plenty of space from the ice block where the person is blocked to that black dot there. There's plenty of space in between. After that person is blocked, the raid will move to the right. Then they will stack up and line of sight Sindragosa so they can drop their stacks. They are not going to DPS the tomb immediately. Once everyone has dropped their stacks, or most everyone has dropped their stacks, then you can go ahead and break the ice blocked raid member. While this is also happening, though, the next mark should be coming out for Frost Beacon. You'll want that person to run to the right while the raid group, or run to the left, excuse me, while the raid group remains on the right. So you should have something looking like this. Okay, this is how it should look. You should have 2 people blocked, or the first person who was blocked where the raid group is next to here should be either DPS out or about to be out at this point in time. Once the first ice block person is out and freed, the raid should move behind the second ice block. This is where grip will also come into play. You do not want to destroy the second ice block, as Sindragosa will do her grip mechanic, which she'll pull everyone into the raid. However, if you're behind the ice block and line of sighting, like you should be to drop your stacks, you should not get pulled in. During this portion, you'll also want to have your tanks switch out. This is where your off tank will go where the main tank is. The main tank will come with the raid group, and they will taunt and swap here. This is so the main tank can drop his stacks, and the off tank can go and start tanking. And then the process pretty much repeats from here on out. So now the off tank, as you can see here, is tanking, and there is another ice block coming out. That person by themselves runs over there. The raid stays where the second ice block is. Hopefully they've probably already killed the ice block. Everyone's reset their stacks, and the ice block will go to the right. Now this goes back and forth from here on out. This is the rotation that you're going to continue to do this in. You'll reset stacks, DPS. The tanks will swap out every time, or maybe even if you got really good tanks, they can swap out every other time when the ice block is at the front foot. The reason why you want to swap it out when it's at the front foot is it's easier for the tanks to run back and forth. It's easier for the off tank or main tank, whatever one is exchanging out and dropping their stacks, to get behind that ice block quicker so they can drop their stacks quicker. This is the strategy that should be used. Again, if you're in a zero buff guild, sure, you can do it the other way, the way that everyone seems to be doing it now. Or if you're in a tournament of some kind, sure, I totally understand that. Other than that, there's honestly no reason to do it the burn way, unless you have really great DPS, again, and people who have brains. If you're short on brains and you're short on DPS, you're better off doing it the old way. So hopefully, again, you guys have found this video informative, and see you next time.